Carla Mendoza always believed that life could be edited, filtered, and packaged into something better than reality. On her phone screen, she was witty, bold, unafraid of the spotlight. Her smile seemed effortless, her eyeliner sharp as blades, her apartment background warm and inviting, though in truth, the smiles were rehearsed, the eyeliner smudged after 3 tries, and the apartment was her parents' guest room, perpetually cluttered with laundry baskets and the faint smell of her mom's candles. Carla wanted more. She wanted what her friends, no, her rivals, had, followers. Enough to transform her from a 20-something nobody scraping shifts at a coffee shop into someone whose name had gravity, whose face appeared on screens with a million glowing hearts pulsing beneath. She'd been circling the influencer dream for years, always hovering at that agonizing plateau, a few hundred followers, half of them bots, the rest disinterested high school acquaintances. Her content was too safe. Too forgettable. That's when the idea bloomed, reckless and intoxicating. People love fear, she whispered one night, scrolling through her For You page, watching clips of shaky flashlights in basements, Ouija boards spelling sinister messages, blurry shadows caught in mirrors. But they love fake fear the most. It's safe. It's entertainment. The accounts running those stunts grew fast, tens of thousands of followers overnight. Most of it was cheap editing and sound effects, but the comments didn't care. People wanted to believe. And if they wanted to believe, Carla would give them a spectacle. It started small. She set up shots in her parents' basement, whispering into the camera about unexplained noises, and knocking on pipes herself to make the feed rattle with hollow clangs. She rigged her bedroom lamp with fishing line, jerking it off the nightstand midstream. She downloaded apps that produced phantom voices when she held her phone into dark corners. The first video hit 3,000 views. Then 10,000. The likes climbed. Her small audience multiplied, feeding her something more addictive than caffeine, more dangerous than any drug, attention. But Carla knew that her parents' house was too ordinary to keep the illusion alive. She needed something bigger. Grander. Somewhere that looked like the kind of place a haunting could truly thrive. That's when she found apartment 6B. The listing sat buried on a rental site no one used anymore, its photos dim and watermarked with dates from years ago. The rent was laughably cheap, less than her Starbucks paychecks, and the landlord didn't even ask for references. The building itself loomed on the edge of the old district, surrounded by boarded storefronts and graffiti-tagged brick. People crossed the street to avoid walking near it. The front door was swollen from rain damage, the brass knob cold and sticky in her hand when she first turned it. The apartment was perfect. Dust lay thick on the wooden floorboards, undisturbed for what felt like decades. The wallpaper curled in strips, yellowed and faintly patterned with roses that had lost their color long ago. The air carried the faint, acrid stench of mildew, with a sharper undercurrent Carla couldn't quite place. But the bones of the place, the cracked archways, the shadowed corners, the creaking balcony rail, looked incredible on camera. She barely had to fake it. Her friends thought she was insane. "You're seriously moving into that dump?" Maya had asked, wrinkling her nose during their last coffee run. "Carla, people die in buildings like that. You've seen the news. Mold, squatters, God knows what else." "Exactly." Carla leaned forward, grin bright, phone poised to capture her own smirk for later stories. "That's the vibe. People want gritty. People want haunted. And this? This is going to blow me up." Her friend shook her head, muttering, "Or it's going to blow you up, like, literally, when the gas line leaks." Carla laughed it off. But even alone, unpacking the few thrifted decorations she'd hauled in for ambience, she felt a twinge of unease. The apartment seemed too aware of her. That first night, Carla set up her phone on a tripod, propped between 2 cardboard boxes, and hit go live. Her voice trembled, though she tried to mask it with dramatic flair. "Welcome, followers, to my new home. Apartment 6B. Rumor says no one's lived here for years. Rumor says they can't. But I guess we're going to find out, right? The chat exploded instantly. OMG, this is creepy already. That wallpaper looks like blood stains FRFR. Is this real? Carla soaked it up. She guided them through the peeling kitchen, the bathroom with its clawfoot tub ringed in rust, the living room where one wall had buckled outward like something had pressed from the inside. Every floorboard groan made her shiver. But on screen, she leaned into it, gasping at shadows, pausing in doorways as if she'd heard whispers. The viewers ate it alive. The problem was, Carla didn't know when to stop. With each stream, she escalated. She staged scratches on the wall. She filmed herself sleeping and added fake distortions to the footage, as though something had interfered. She left cryptic notes on scraps of paper, tucking them beneath the door and later pretending to discover them. She didn't tell her followers, she wrote them herself. The more elaborate her tricks became, the less it felt like acting. Sometimes she'd wake in the middle of the night certain she'd heard her own voice whispering from another room. Sometimes the air grew so cold her breath fogged in front of her while she edited clips on her laptop. And sometimes, when she checked her live playback, she swore she saw things in the background. Shapes. Flickers of movement that weren't hers. But she pushed the doubts away. This is what I wanted, she told her reflection one morning, brushing on concealer to hide the purple bags beneath her eyes. This is how you win. Her reflection did not smile back. The followers multiplied. 50,000. 75. 100. Her inbox flooded with sponsorship offers, collab requests, emails from digital agencies promising brand deals if she could keep the momentum going. And still, Carla felt it wasn't enough. The comments demanded escalation. Next time do a seance. Call out to the spirit, bet you won't. Try Bloody Mary in the bathroom mirror. She knew they wanted a show. Something raw, something shocking. So she planned her boldest stunt yet. It was nearly midnight when Carla set her phone to stream again. She wore a long black dress she'd found at Goodwill, her hair uncombed, makeup smeared intentionally for that possessed chic look. Candles ringed the floor, their smoke staining the already dark air. She smiled into the camera, though her hands trembled in her lap. Tonight, she whispered, I'm going to do it. I'm going to invite them in. The comments flew so fast they blurred into a waterfall of text. No way. Please don't mess with that stuff. This is gonna go viral. Carla set the stage. She'd downloaded a Latin incantation from a paranormal forum, barely glancing at the translations. It was just words. Nonsense. But eerie enough to impress the audience. She began to chant. The candles flickered. The stream crackled, her face glitching on screen for half a second before smoothing back into focus. Carla felt her throat tighten, as though something gripped her voice and pulled. But she forced the words out, staring into the lens, knowing thousands of eyes were locked on her. Venite ad me. The temperature dropped so sharply she gasped mid-sentence. The candle flame stretched tall, thin, and then all blew out at once. The comments exploded. Yo, what the hell? Is this FX? Did anyone else hear that? Because they had heard it. Not Carla. The voice. Low. Gravelly. Not from her throat but from somewhere behind her, rising up like breath on the back of her neck. Don't follow me. Carla froze. The phone slipped in her sweaty hands. This wasn't her script. This wasn't her. She forced a laugh, brittle and trembling, eyes darting around the apartment. Okay, guess the spirits are shy tonight. But even as she joked, her stomach twisted. Something had shifted. And deep inside her, beneath the nerves, beneath the hunger for fame, a small, instinctive part of Carla whispered the truth. She had invited something in. And it had answered. Carla didn't sleep that night. She lay awake on her futon, staring at the cracked ceiling of apartment 6B while the dark pressed down like a suffocating blanket. Every creak of the old pipes sounded amplified, every draft a whisper through unseen cracks. She had lived here nearly a month, but that night the apartment felt different, less like a backdrop for her content and more like something alive, breathing with her, waiting. Her chat replayed in her mind, words she couldn't shake. Did anyone else hear that? That voice was not hers. Yo WTF, I got chills. She'd watched the live back, scrolling through the footage with trembling hands. The sound was there. No amount of editing explained it. The audio spike was real. The voice had been real. Don't follow me. The words burrowed into her skull, looping, replaying until it almost felt like they weren't just from last night but echoing even now, whispering through the walls. Carla told herself it was a win. Viral gold. Exactly the kind of inexplicable stunt that could push her over the edge from up-and-coming to household name. She told herself that, over and over, until the sun finally clawed its way through the blinds. But the truth sat heavy in her gut, she hadn't staged it. Morning light didn't help. She filmed a chipper story for her feed, voice unnaturally high as she chirped, so, last night was insane, right? I'm still freaking out. But don't worry, fam, I'm okay. Promise. It's all part of the show. The comments poured in, excited and demanding more. When's the next ritual? You gotta go deeper, open the portal all the way. Please don't stop, this is the realest content on here RN. Carla smiled for the camera, but when she hit post, her grin fell like a mask sliding off. Her reflection in the black phone screen looked exhausted. Hollow. You're fine, she whispered to herself. You're fine. You're in control. But she wasn't. Not anymore. That evening, Maya called. Carla, I swear to God, what the hell are you doing in that place? Her voice was sharp, urgent. I watched your stream last night. That wasn't, whatever that was, it wasn't you. Carla forced a laugh. You think I can't fake a voice, May? Come on. It's literally my brand now. Horror chic. Gotta sell it. You don't sound like you believe that. There was silence between them. Carla stared at the peeling wallpaper, where faint streaks darkened the surface like water damage, or maybe something else. She pressed a thumbnail into one spot, scraping. A brownish flake crumbled off beneath her nail. Her stomach churned. Look, she said quickly, it's fine. I'm fine. It's just content. But her friend didn't sound convinced. Just, be careful, okay? Don't get lost in this. The call ended, leaving Carla alone with the apartment's creaks and whispers. She wasn't planning to stream that night. She needed a break, needed to reset her nerves. But as dusk fell, her phone buzzed. Non-stop, notifications, messages, tags. Her last live had exploded, clips of the voice were everywhere, dissected frame by frame on Twitter threads, slowed down and remixed on TikTok, speculated about in Reddit forums. The world was talking about her. Carla's fingers hovered over the Go Live button, chest tight. She was terrified. She was addicted. Okay, she whispered to no one. Just one more. She pressed it. The candle at Ritual Space was still on the floor, wax hardened into rivers down the wood. Carla relit the stubs, their flames casting jagged shadows up her walls. Welcome back, followers, she purred into the lens, though her throat felt raw, strained. Last night, something happened. And you all heard it too. The chat exploded. Say it again. Please do the ritual one more time. OMG, I can't believe you're doing this live. Carla forced a smile, though her hands shook. She picked up the crumpled sheet of paper with the Latin phrases. Her mouth was dry, lips cracked as she began to read. Spiritus, veni ad me. The words wavered. The flame nearest her guttered low. Carla's voice faltered, but the other voice didn't. It rose behind hers, gravelly and guttural, slipping between her words like a parasite. This time, the stream caught everything. Her viewers typed frantically. Bro, that's not her. Yo, is someone there? I'm shaking RN. Carla's breath hitched. She dropped the paper. The entity whispered again. Don't follow me. The phone camera jolted out of focus, static streaking across the feed. When the image cleared, Carla wasn't in frame anymore, only the dark, flickering candles. The chat exploded in panic. Where did she go? WTF, I saw a shadow behind her. Carla, answer US. But Carla was there. Still sitting on the floor. Only now, her body refused to move. Her limbs felt pinned, as if invisible hands pressed them into place. Her mouth trembled, her jaw locked. And the whisper came not from behind her this time. It came from inside her chest. Don't follow me. Her lips parted. Her throat convulsed. The words came out of her own mouth. Carla broke free with a scream so raw it tore her throat bloody. She scrambled out of the candle circle, knocking one over, wax hissing as it splattered across the floor. She slapped at her phone, ending the live with trembling fingers. The apartment plunged into silence. Her heart pounded. Her ears rang. And then she heard it, applause. Faint. Slow. Coming from the kitchen. Carla spun, eyes wide. No one was there. But the sound continued. Clap. 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 Until it faded into the walls. That night, Carla couldn't bear to close her eyes. She sat on the futon with her phone clutched in both hands, scrolling through the endless flood of messages. The clips of her voice, that voice, were everywhere now. People slowed it down, reversed it, speculated endlessly. Some swore they saw something moving just out of frame, a figure, tall and bent, with arms too long. Her follower count skyrocketed past 200,000. They were obsessed. They wanted more. But Carla was unraveling. Her reflection in the bathroom mirror no longer seemed synced with her movements. Sometimes it blinked half a second too late. Sometimes its mouth curled into a smirk while hers stayed slack with exhaustion. And sometimes, just sometimes, she swore it mouthed the words she dreaded most. Don't follow me. By the fourth day, Carla hadn't left the apartment. Food deliveries sat untouched by the door, growing cold. Her hair clung greasy to her scalp, her skin pallid from lack of sleep. But the entity didn't let her rest. When she closed her eyes, she saw flashes of places she'd never been, damp tunnels slick with rot, hallways of endless doors, shadows that twitched when they should have stayed still. And always, that voice, crawling up from the pit of her own lungs, pressing against her ribs like it wanted out. Her followers begged for another stream. Brands emailed with lucrative offers. Carla stared at her phone, trembling. Part of her wanted to smash it against the wall. To walk away. To run. But the other part, the desperate, hollow part, wanted the spotlight. Because now she understood something terrifying. The entity wasn't trying to scare her away. It was using her. And the more she streamed, the more people watched, the stronger it became. Carla tried to quit. For 3 days she didn't stream, didn't post, didn't so much as open the camera app. She silenced notifications, let sponsorship emails rot unread in her inbox, and shoved her phone under a pile of dirty laundry on the futon. But the silence didn't save her. The apartment was louder without her audience. At night she heard whispering from the pipes, laughter from the vents, tapping from inside the walls like long fingernails dragging against plaster. Every creak made her twitch. Every gust of wind through the balcony door sounded like breath against her ear. And still the voice lingered. "Don't follow me." It wasn't a warning anymore. It was a command, curling through her veins like smoke. It owned her. The third morning, Carla woke to her phone buzzing violently. She dug it out from the laundry, eyes bleary. The screen was flooded with mentions. Dozens. Hundreds. Her heart raced as she tapped through. Clips of her last stream were still everywhere, yes. But something else was circulating now. Screenshots. Still frames. From her apartment. From last night. Carla scrolled in disbelief. Photos showed the inside of 6B, her living room, her kitchen, captured in grainy low light. One shot was of her futon, her own body curled in sleep. Another from the bathroom mirror, where her reflection wasn't sleeping at all but wide awake, eyes black pits, grinning. Her breath caught. She hadn't streamed. She hadn't posted. But somehow, the world had still been watching. The comments burned across her vision. She's streaming in her sleep now. Genius marketing. Nah, that mirror pic is cursed AF. Bro, how does she do this so real? Carla's hands shook so badly she nearly dropped the phone. She hadn't given them those images. Something else had. She locked the phone in the kitchen drawer. She told herself she'd delete every account, burn the SIM card, walk away. But when night fell, she found herself staring at the drawer like an addict staring at a syringe. Her followers weren't dropping. They were growing. Hundreds by the hour. People wanted more. People demanded more. And deep inside, beneath the fear, something in Carla wanted it too. It wasn't just the numbers. It was the way the entity swelled inside her whenever she thought about the audience. The way her chest grew heavy, like it was pressing her forward, urging her to perform. She knew it wasn't her hunger anymore. It was theirs. She went live again on the fourth night. She didn't plan it. 1 minute she was pacing the living room, palms sweaty, and the next she was on the floor, phone propped on its tripod, the red glow of live glaring back at her. "Hey, guys," she whispered, throat raw, eyes ringed with bruised shadows. I wasn't going to stream tonight, but... The chat erupted. "She's back. OMG, you look dead, girl, you okay? We missed you, queen." Carla laughed weakly. Yeah, I'm fine. Just, fine. But the apartment disagreed. The candles guttered without warning. The air thickened, pressing down until even the viewers commented on how her feed looked harder to breathe in. The shadows behind her stretched long, too long, as if someone taller than the walls stood just out of frame. And then it happened. The viewers saw it first. "Wait, who's that behind her? Yo, pause, what is that? No cap, there's a face right there." Carla froze, blood cold. She didn't want to turn. She knew something was there. Her phone camera flickered, distorting the image like static. For half a second, something leaned into frame, a figure with skin like melted wax, a head cocked too far sideways, its smile sharp as shattered glass. The chat exploded. "What the F asterisk is that, asterisk? Nah, she hired actors FR. Yo, is this ARG? Or real?" Carla scrambled to her feet, knocking the tripod sideways. The feed tumbled, showing only the floorboards, her own panicked footsteps. She ended the live without a word. She thought she'd escaped it. That maybe the glitch had been her mind playing tricks. But the next morning, her notifications told a different story. The clip was everywhere. Millions of views. Articles already speculating whether the ghost of 6B was the scariest viral hoax of the year. People debated fiercely in comments, special effects, or genuine. Carla knew the truth. She hadn't staged that thing. She hadn't hired anyone. And yet the world believed she had. They thought it was all part of the show. Which meant she had no way out. Maya showed up that afternoon, pounding on the warped door until Carla let her in. "Jesus, Carla, you look like death," she muttered, shoving past her. "Have you even eaten?" Carla sank onto the futon, hair sticking to her damp forehead. "I can't, May. It won't let me." Maya paused. "What won't?" Carla lifted her eyes, hollow and wild. "The thing. The voice. It's real. I didn't make it up. And now it's inside me." Her friend frowned. "Carla, listen to yourself. You're spiraling. This is just stress. Sleep deprivation. You need to." "No," Carla's voice cracked. "You didn't hear it. You didn't feel it." Maya opened her mouth, but the apartment interrupted. The bathroom door slammed shut by itself. Both women jolted. Maya's face drained white. Carla stared at the door, throat tight. Slowly, the knob began to turn. Back and forth. Jiggle. 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 As if someone inside was trying to come out. Maya clutched her arm. "Carla, tell me you set that up. Please." Carla didn't answer. Because she couldn't. That night, Maya insisted on staying. They curled on the futon together, whispering like kids at a sleepover. Maya tried to distract her with old stories, stupid memories from high school, but every laugh died quickly in the suffocating dark. Around 3 a.m., Carla drifted into a shallow, restless sleep. She woke to the sound of Maya screaming. Carla bolted upright. Her friend stood across the room, pointing at the bathroom mirror. "Carla, look." Carla turned. Her reflection was still in the glass. Only she wasn't standing anywhere near it. The figure in the mirror grinned wide, mouthing words that rattled against the inside of Carla's skull. "Don't follow me." The lights shattered. The room plunged into chaos. Maya grabbed her arm, shrieking, "We have to go, Carla, now." They stumbled toward the door, but it slammed shut before they could reach it. Carla clawed at the knob, but it wouldn't turn, her hands slipping on the cold brass. And then, her phone buzzed. On the floor where she'd left it, the screen glowed red. Live. The stream had started by itself. The camera caught everything, the screams, the darkness, the reflections still moving even though they weren't. The audience watched in real time. Thousands. Tens of thousands. And the likes kept climbing. The sound of the phone buzzing filled the apartment like a swarm of insects. Carla and Maya stood frozen in the dark, the only light coming from the glowing rectangle on the floor. The red words pulsed at the top of the screen. Live. Viewers poured in by the second, their comments already flooding. "What is happening, OMG? This is too real. I think something's wrong with her." Carla's stomach twisted. She hadn't touched the phone. She hadn't started the stream. The entity had. Her own audience was no longer hers. "Carla," Maya whispered, her grip bruising on Carla's wrist. "We have to shut it off. End it. Right now." Carla lunged for the phone, fingers trembling, but the screen shifted before she could touch it. The camera flipped, turning to face them. Her own reflection stared back at her from the cracked screen, pale, hollow-eyed, hair hanging limp around her face. But something was wrong. Her reflection smiled. Carla's lips did not. Maya gasped. "Oh my God." The comments flew by in a frenzy. "Did you see that? Her reflection is smiling, WTF. Nah, she's editing live, that's insane tech." Holy yes asterisk asterisk this is real. It has to be. Asterisk. Carla's throat constricted. She reached to end the stream again, but her finger hovered above the screen, paralyzed. The reflection in the phone moved first, mouthing the words she feared most. Don't follow me. And then her finger pressed the button on its own. Not to end the stream. To lock it in place. She couldn't stop it now. The apartment responded. The wallpaper rippled as if breathing. The floorboards groaned like a body shifting beneath the wood. The air thickened, stinking of rot, pressing against their chests until breathing felt like drowning. Maya clutched Carla's shoulders. We have to leave. Carla, look at me, we have to. Carla nodded, her mind screaming for escape. But her body didn't obey. Her feet rooted to the floor. Her arms hung heavy, limp, like someone else had strings tied around them. Her phone vibrated again. The screen displayed the count, 75,000 viewers. 100,000, 150,000. The entity was feeding. She could feel it. Something writhed inside her chest, pressing against her lungs, sliding cold tendrils through her ribs. Every surge of likes and comments sent a shiver through her, a pulse of strength that wasn't her own. Her mouth opened. She didn't move it. And the voice came out. Watch. The viewers went wild. What the hell, that wasn't her voice. Nah bro, I'm legit scared RN. This stream is history omfk. Maya backed away from her, eyes wide. Carla, that wasn't you. Carla tried to speak, tried to scream, but her throat belonged to something else. Her body jerked forward, puppet-like, her limbs moving in unnatural angles. She staggered toward the phone, bent low, and stared directly into the camera lens. Her lips stretched in a smile that wasn't hers. Her eyes rolled white. And the entity spoke through her again. Don't follow me. The lights flickered violently, bursting one by one until only the dim glow of the phone remained. Carla's body convulsed, her spine arching as if something inside her fought for space. Maya lunged forward. No. I'm not leaving you. Carla's head snapped toward her, movement sharp, inhuman. Her jaw unhinged too wide, her neck bones popping. Her voice, no, the thing's voice, spilled out. She will follow. Maya screamed, stumbling back, tripping over the futon. Tears streaked her face. Carla, fight it. Please, it's not you. Carla clawed at her own throat, gasping. Somewhere inside, buried beneath the entity's grip, her mind still thrashed. She wanted to answer Maya, to beg her to run, but her mouth only grinned wider, blood dripping from the corners of her lips as skin split from the strain. The comments poured faster. Oh my God, she's breaking her jaw. Is this even allowed to be on here? She's possessed AF. The likes kept climbing. Carla's vision blurred. Her body was no longer hers. She collapsed to the floor, twitching. Her phone tilted, capturing her in low angle, every violent spasm framed perfectly for her ravenous audience. Inside her skull, her thoughts pounded, stop watching. Stop watching. Please, don't follow me. But the viewers didn't stop. They encouraged it. Demanded it. They thought it was a performance. They thought she wanted this. And the entity fed. Time bled strange in the chaos. One moment Carla was writhing, the next she was standing again, though she hadn't felt herself rise. She looked down to see her own hands flexing, fingers elongating unnaturally, bones stretching like they'd been softened and pulled. Her scream stayed trapped inside. The entity forced her body toward Maya. Maya scrambled back until her spine hit the wall, sobbing. Carla, no, please, it's me. It's Maya. For a fleeting second, Carla broke through. Her eyes blinked back into focus, lips trembling. May, she croaked. But the entity crushed the moment. Her vision blackened at the edges. Her mouth snapped shut with a wet crack. Her body lunged. Maya shrieked as Carla's hands, longer now, skeletal, tipped with nails splitting into jagged claws, slammed into the wall beside her face. Splinters rained down. The phone caught it all. The chat screamed. Holy s asterisk asterisk this is real asterisk. Yo, someone call 911. Nah, she's acting, she has to be acting. Carla's breath rattled, chest heaving as if two things battled for control inside her. Her head turned slowly toward the phone again. Her smile widened. And the entity whispered through her lips. Keep watching. The apartment transformed around them. The wallpaper peeled in wet strips, revealing rotted wood beneath. The ceiling sagged like flesh. The floor bulged upward as if something massive crawled beneath the boards. Maya bolted for the door, yanking on the knob with both hands. It didn't move. She pounded, screaming for help, but her voice only echoed back, distorted, like the walls themselves were mocking her. Carla stumbled after her, arms jerking like marionette strings. Tears streamed down her face, but her mouth stretched wider, splitting her cheeks, forcing a grotesque grin. She slammed into the door beside Maya, her head cocking sharply, neck muscles tearing audibly. The voice poured out again. Don't follow me. Maya spun, sobbing, why? What does that mean? Carla's eyes rolled back white. Blood dripped from her mouth as the entity answered. Because once you do, you can't leave. The phone vibrated again. Viewer count, 300,000. 500,000, nearly 1 million. The entity pulsed inside her like a heartbeat. Stronger. Hungrier. Carla's skin rippled. Something beneath it shifted, pushing outward as though trying to claw free. Her veins blackened. Her bones creaked audibly. The chat cheered. OMG, her FX team is next level. This is cinema. She's not human anymore. They were right. Carla wasn't. The stream tilted as the phone slid across the floor, landing against the wall. From that angle, it captured everything, Maya pounding at the sealed door, Carla staggering closer, her body twisting grotesquely, her grin stretched ear to ear. The audience screamed, laughed, begged for more. And the likes kept climbing. Carla wanted to cry, wanted to scream, wanted to tear the phone apart. But the entity kept her smiling, kept her moving, kept her performing. Because this wasn't a show anymore. It was a feeding. And she was the host. The night was quiet in the city beyond the cracked windows of the apartment, but inside Carla's borrowed stage, silence felt like a loaded gun, waiting to go off at the slightest touch. Her phone continued to buzz and blink with notifications. Every second, more viewers joined the live stream. The chat scrolled endlessly, a river of comments ranging from disbelief to fascination to cruel laughter. Nice edits, Carla. The best yet. That voice wasn't human, bro, tell me she didn't use AI for this. Look at her face. That's not makeup. This is the content I live for. More, more, more. Carla's breathing was uneven, ragged. She had tried to cut the stream, to kill the feed, but every time she touched the app, it refused to close. Her phone didn't listen anymore. The broadcast had a will of its own, driven by the thing inside her. She stood before the mirror in the abandoned bedroom, pale and sweating. Her reflection did not move with her. When she lifted her hand to touch her face, the figure in the glass smiled a second too late, grinning wider than her jaw could ever allow. Please, she whispered, not to her viewers but to whatever was behind the glass. I didn't mean it. I just wanted people to see me. The reflection tilted its head, a predator studying its prey. And then the chat went wild. Carla turned, and froze. The bedroom door creaked open, not by her hand. A shadow moved. And then her neighbor, Mrs. Alvarez, stepped inside. She was a sweet old woman Carla had run into only once, weeks ago, when she first signed the lease. Mrs. Alvarez had warned her not to move in. Something about the old ones who linger. Carla had laughed it off at the time. Now the woman's frail silhouette stood framed in the doorway, her hand clutching the wooden cross she always wore around her neck. Her cloudy eyes flickered toward Carla, and her lips trembled as though reciting a silent prayer. "Carla, Mrs. Alvarez whispered in her soft, accented voice, "You need to leave this place. It does not belong to you. It never did." Carla swallowed, trying to speak, but the words caught in her throat. Her hand twitched as though puppet, fingers curling into claws. The live stream zoomed closer on its own, camera focusing perfectly on her trembling body. "Please," Carla begged. Don't come closer." But Mrs. Alvarez stepped forward, holding her cross high. "I know what you've done, Nina. You woke it. It wants to wear you. But it can still be sent back." The reflection in the mirror behind Carla laughed soundlessly. Her phone caught the movement perfectly, feeding it to thousands of wide-eyed watchers who thought they were witnessing the most convincing horror show on the internet. Carla's body stiffened. The thing inside her pulsed like a black vein running through her chest. She felt it stretch, twist, and then surge down her arms. "No," she screamed, trying to hold herself back. But her own hands snapped forward, clawing the air, dragging her body toward the old woman. Mrs. Alvarez tried to retreat, but Carla's strength was no longer her own. The entity surged like lightning. She crossed the room in 2 strides, her hand latching onto the old woman's throat. Mrs. Alvarez gasped, her cross falling from her trembling hands. The live stream chat erupted. "Holy SHT, is she actually choking her? Asterisk. Nah, this is like staged, right? She's too good at this. Oscar-worthy. I think that old lady is actually dying." Carla screamed inside her own mind, but her mouth curved into a grotesque smile. Her nails dug into the soft flesh of Mrs. Alvarez's neck. The woman's eyes bulged, tears spilling down her cheeks as she tried to speak a prayer. The mirror behind them warped, the reflection pressing its hands eagerly against the glass, drinking in the violence. Mrs. Alvarez's lips formed one last desperate word, "Dios," before her body went limp. The old woman collapsed to the floor, her eyes frozen open. The cross rolled across the rotting wood, clinking once before stopping. Carla stumbled back, her body shuddering. For a moment, she thought she had regained control. She dropped to her knees beside Mrs. Alvarez, shaking her shoulders. No, please wake up, I didn't want." But it was too late. Her phone automatically panned to the lifeless body on the ground. The app overlaid animated hearts and emojis, bright and playful, across the image of a fresh corpse. The comments exploded. "Holy F ***, she did it live. ***. This has to be fake. No way. I'm shook. This is too real. Carla, girl, you're insane. You're gonna blow up after this." Carla screamed, not at the old woman's death, but at the horrifying reality. They thought it was all content. They thought it was all fake. And they kept watching. The likes ticked upward. The numbers grew. And the thing inside Carla purred. It wanted more. Carla woke up to the sound of applause. It wasn't real applause, not with hands. It was the thunder of thousands of tapping screens, the swell of likes, shares, and comments that had become her oxygen. Her phone, set on the cracked tile floor beside her, glowed with notifications spilling across the lock screen in a torrent. She blinked, dazed. Her mouth was dry. Something metallic lingered at the back of her throat. She shifted, and her body ached as though she had been carrying someone else's weight. Because she had. The reflection in the dark TV screen across the apartment confirmed it. For just a second, her face wasn't her own. The eyes that stared back glowed pale, milky, empty. The smile was wrong. It curved too wide, too patient. When she looked directly at it, it snapped back into her features, leaving only her flushed, frightened face. The chat on her live feed scrolled without stopping. At Urban Frights, bro, this is the best arc yet. At Darkwatcher92. Is she method acting or actually losing it? At Ghoul_lover, I swear I saw her eyes change. Replay 036 mark. At Carla Stan, don't stop, queen. This is insane. Carla sat up, clutching her chest. They thought it was still a performance. Stop, watching me, she whispered, but her voice was drowned in the cascade of reactions. Every moment she existed now was being consumed, looped, clipped, dissected. And then she remembered. The last stunt. The chant. The thing she had said into the camera, words she thought were nonsense syllables stitched from old horror forums and occult blogs. The way the air had thickened as she spoke them. How the candle flames had bent inward. How her skin had rippled as though someone had brushed it from inside. Carla dragged herself to the bathroom. The mirror above the sink was fractured, the largest crack like a wound cutting across her reflection. She leaned close, searching her eyes. "You're not real," she whispered. A whisper came back, but not hers. "We are." "You called." "We answered." Her stomach clenched. She staggered back, knocking over the toothbrush holder. The lights flickered. From the shadows between the mirror's fractures, something pushed forward, like a hand pressing through glass, skin stretching where there should be silver. She bolted out. The apartment's air was different now. Heavy. Wet, as though the walls were sweating. The stench of rot curled into her lungs. Shadows didn't wait for the dark anymore, they pooled at her feet, swelled in corners, and whispered. The chat reacted instantly. At Horror Hunter, yo, did anyone else hear that voice? At Fake or Not, someone clipped that mirror scene. That was not editing. At Eyes in the Dark, don't follow her. Don't follow her. Don't follow her. Carla froze. That last comment was repeated. Again. And again. Not from one account, but hundreds. Then thousands. Don't follow her. The words flooded her stream like a warning chant. Her throat tightened. Why are you saying that? The entity answered for them. Because we need them. And they must obey. Her phone camera flicked on without her touching it, switching to live stream mode. It tilted itself, fixing her in the frame. She reached for it, but her hands wouldn't close. Fingers curled wrong, trembling, as though someone else was pulling the strings. And then, another shift. The feed wasn't showing her. Not exactly. It showed Carla as she was becoming. Her face was stretched in unnatural ways, mouth longer, skin crawling as if it were alive. The audience went wild. At Blood Moon feed, best horror makeup ever. At Woke Too Late, bro, that's not makeup. Look close. At Carla Forever, I can't tell if I should be scared or impressed. Carla wanted to scream, turn it off. Get out. Don't watch. But the words lodged in her throat. What came out instead was a smile. Her lips moved on their own. You like this? She asked, voice doubled with a guttural echo. Want more? The chat exploded. They begged for more. They demanded it. And something inside her listened. Her arm jerked upward like a puppet's. Fingers curled into claws. She raked them down her cheek. The skin split, blood welled, then blackened, smearing her grin. She felt nothing. Only heat, only a surge of applause. The viewers went insane with glee. At 666 watcher, she's cutting herself. At LOL nope, nah it's an effect. Too clean to be real. At Deadstream, keep going. Don't stop. Her body obeyed, not her, but them. She staggered toward the camera, eyes rolling. The voice inside pressed against her tongue, forcing its way out. They will stay, it said. They will follow. Every eye, every breath, they're ours now. Carla wept silently, trapped behind her own face. The stream kept climbing. More viewers, more hearts, more hunger. And behind her, in the shadows of the apartment, something else began to move. Not just in one place, but many. Dozens. Pale hands gripping the doorframe. Faces forming in the ceiling. The apartment was filling with them, pressing in, crawling out, answering the call she had made. The audience thought it was content. Carla knew it was invasion. And the thing inside her whispered its promise. Carla's live stream window shook with the distorted sound of her own ragged breathing. The camera had long since been knocked from its tripod, now capturing her at an off-kilter angle from the floor. Half of her face was visible, pale and streaked with blood, the other half lost in shadow. Behind her, the abandoned apartment's walls pulsated like something alive, the peeling paint bulging in and out as if the building itself were breathing with her. The viewer count had exploded. Over 4 million people were watching. Some commented frantically, others spammed emojis, others begged for more. The chat moved faster than her mind could process. This has to be fake. OMG, this is insane, she's a genius. No way this is real. Carla. What's wrong with your eyes? Carla's jaw stretched with a sickening crack, wider than bone should allow, her scream warping into something mechanical, like a signal breaking through static. She clawed at her throat, as if tearing something out from the inside. Her nails raked bloody trenches across her skin. Don't follow me, she howled, spittle flying. Her voice was layered, hers and something deeper, ancient, dripping like oil from the speakers. Don't follow me. The entity inside her laughed. It used her mouth, but the sound had weight, as though 100 voices were overlapping. It wasn't just performing for her viewers anymore, it was addressing them directly. Keep watching, the thing crooned through Carla, leaning closer to the tilted camera. Her eyes rolled back, then snapped forward, glowing faintly with a wet, diseased red. You wanted horror. You wanted real. Now you're part of it. The comments surged, disbelief and terror blending together. Holy SHT, this is the best horror channel ever asterisk. She's gone too far, call 911 someone. No, look closer. That's not special effects. Carla's body jerked violently, as though her limbs belonged to different people, strings pulled by a cruel puppeteer. Her head twisted 90 degrees with a sound like tearing fabric, then snapped back, her smile stretching ear to ear, skin splitting at the corners. The viewers couldn't look away. The pull beyond the screen. Somewhere across the world, a teenager named Brian sat hunched over his laptop, sweat dampening his palms. He had tuned in for laughs, like everyone else. But now his screen seemed to flicker in rhythm with Carla's movements. The shadows behind her warped, and for a moment, he could swear they were spilling out into his own bedroom. He leaned closer. The camera on his laptop flashed, though he hadn't turned it on. His reflection stared back at him in the glossy screen, only his reflection's mouth was smiling while his own face stayed frozen in shock. Brian screamed, slamming the laptop shut. But he could still hear her voice, Carla's warped chant, bleeding from the speakers even though the computer was closed. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. Back in the apartment. Carla's chest convulsed, rising and falling with unnatural speed. Her ribs began to push outward, stretching skin until it tore in jagged lines. Fingers, wrong, too many, slipped through the gaps like something inside her was trying to crawl free. She shrieked and lurched forward, slamming herself against the wall. Blood sprayed the lens, blurring the feed into a red haze. Her voice wavered between pleading and mocking. "Help me, oh God, help. You love it, don't you? Every like, every view, every follow, you begged for me." The thing was eating her alive, piece by piece, while millions cheered, argued, and wept from behind their screens. The audience transformed. In Chicago, a woman named Lila scrolled the comments obsessively, unable to tear herself away. When Carla's voice said her name, Lila, she froze. Her living room lights flickered, and in the reflection of her TV, she saw Carla standing behind her couch. In Tokyo, a man laughed nervously, assuming it was all part of the act. Then his phone vibrated with a notification, "Thanks for following me, Hiroshi." The profile picture was Carla's face, eyes black pits, teeth jagged as glass. His camera app opened by itself. In Brazil, an entire group of college students screamed when Carla's voice began echoing through their apartment, not from the live stream, but from the walls themselves. The entity wasn't confined anymore. Every watcher was an open door. Carla's last resistance. Somewhere deep inside, Carla fought to claw her way back. Her eyes flickered with recognition for a moment. She turned her face toward the blood-smeared camera and whispered, broken, almost human. "Please, stop watching me. Don't follow me. Don't, let it in." Her fingers twitched toward the laptop, as if she meant to smash it, to end the stream. But the entity locked her joints, pulling her back like a cruel hand gripping her spine. Her body jerked upright, towering unnaturally tall as her bones snapped and reformed. "Fools," the voice hissed. She wanted fame. You wanted horror. I wanted a stage. Now we are one. Her skin peeled from her arms like wet paper, revealing veins that slithered like snakes. Her hair floated in the air, as if underwater. Carla's face became a mask of agony, half her own, half something that shifted endlessly, flickering with faces of random viewers, a mother crying, a child screaming, a man's shocked laughter. The entity was showing everyone what it owned. The collapse. The apartment shook. The ceiling cracked, plaster snowing down. Carla, no, the thing inside her, spread its arms wide. Her fingers elongated into blackened talons, and her voice deepened until the feed distorted. Not a performance. Not a trick. This is forever. Then the camera caught something no one could explain, a shadow behind Carla, taller than the building itself, bending through impossible dimensions. Its head brushed the ceiling, though its body stretched endlessly into dark. Millions watched as Carla's body was yanked upward, bones tearing, ribs bursting open like wings. Her scream was no longer hers, it was theirs. Every viewer's throat tightened, every watcher's breath synced with her final cry. "Don't follow me." The feed cut to black. The aftermath. Silence. Then, one by one, the live stream reappeared, not on Carla's channel, but everywhere. Phones unlocked by themselves. Televisions switched channels. Billboards glitched into her bloodied face. And the follower count kept climbing. 10 million. 20 million. 50 million. Every screen whispered the same words in that layered, oily voice. "Thank you for following me." The world screamed, but it was too late. Carla's face, broken and distorted, was the last viral sensation humanity would ever know. And somewhere, buried deep in the static, if you listened closely enough, you could still hear her voice, small, terrified, begging, drowned beneath the roar of the thing that had taken her. "Don't follow me. Please.